Welcome to the Golfish Podcast. I'm your host, Amy Goodman. We're changing things up for the rest of spring and summer and moving the podcast to release every other week. As always, we will continue to bring you fascinating interviews with the people behind the players of the PGA, LPGA, Champions Tour, and beyond. Don't forget to rate or leave a review and tell us how we're doing.
You've probably heard the hype, but have you ever actually considered incorporating CBD into your golf routine? If so, we're confident that our sponsors over at Joint Caddy will make you a CBD believer. Their signature roll-on freeze gel is perfect for any golfer who experiences aches, pains, or soreness on the course, and it comes in a no-mess applicator that eliminates any chance of greasy hands affecting your grip. Plus, it fits perfectly in your golf bag. They also carry their own blend of sublingual drops that will help you relax, or as they like to say, nip the yips. They're great for sleep too. All of Joint Caddy's products are all natural and free of any solvents, sweeteners, or preservatives. They even have the third-party test results listed right on their website. So head to jointcaddy.com and see what all the hype's about. And while you're there, use promo code GOLFISHJC20 to take 20% off any order.
This week we're joined by Byron Morgan. Byron is the genius behind the custom putter company Byron Morgan Putters. We chat all about how he got his start making toys, then surfboards, and found his calling in custom putters. To Byron, no design or specification is off limits. Just ask the custom putter collectors that reach out to him when they get a new idea. I'll be honest, I had no idea that custom putter collectors even existed. If you wanted to learn more about the custom putter industry, what it's like moving from California to small-town Georgia, or even looking for a business to buy, then this episode's for you. Let's get started. And Amy from the Golfish Podcast, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Excited to have you on today.
Thank you.
It's a very good way for me to kick off my week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So for everyone that's listening today, we have on Byron Morgan from Byron Morgan Putters. So I'd love for you to start and just introduce our audience to who you are and your connection and association with the golf world.
Yeah, Byron Morgan, and I make custom putters, and I've been making custom putters for like 30 years now. I started out as a hobbyist working on real woods, and then sometime in the right around 1990, started making putters.
So you had started out at your dad's company working under him. What did he make?
No, my dad was a hobbyist.
Oh, your dad was a hobbyist too. Okay.
Yeah, he had a machine shop in our garage in the home where I grew up. He was a machinist in the Navy and then was working as a machinist when he got out of the Navy.
Okay.
And then we had a little shop in the garage where I made toys. Where you made toys? Mini bikes. Okay. Go-karts, mini bikes, and things like that. And then when I got into being a teenager, I was in there taking cars apart and painting cars in there.
And at one point you transitioned to surfboards before you got into club making, is that right?
Yeah, when I was a teenager, I was really surfing a lot. I started when I was about 13, 14 years old. And I was surfing a lot and got into repairing the boards myself and then making a few boards and, have a little fantasy business, Morgan Surfboards. But I just made a few things and then later when I was started college, I got a job at a trucking company loading trucks at night so I could surf during the day.
Sounds like a good balance.
With my buddy. Yep. We had a lot of fun surfing and camping and traveling all over the West Coast with my buddies. it was an awesome time. I really appreciate having those times.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so when you started with woods, how did that come about?
Yes, I started playing golf in my mid-20s probably, and right away got into classic clubs because the tour players were in the classic clubs, M85s, 945s. They were all using McGregor woods that were made in the 50s. And so I knew that those woods could be had still, but you had to go out and look for them. So I would go out and look for those woods and then restore them by resetting the inserts, resetting the sole plates, adjusting any kind of lead inside those old heads, and then refinishing them and reshafting them. Of course, that was the most important thing, is putting in a brand new dynamic shaft. And, then you could sell those clubs for a good profit. And I was doing that as a part-time, as a hobby, and I built a shop in my garage at my home, and eventually saw the need that I could have a business doing this. And I was walking up Main Street in Huntington Beach, California with my wife one Sunday morning, and I saw this perfect size place for lease. And I asked her actually, I'm going to quit my job and lease that shop and open a golf business unless you say no. And she did not. She said yes.
Great wife, loving and supportive. I love it.
Yeah, she has been.
How did you get started in golf? I mean, it's an interesting transition to go from surfing and camping and kind of living the college life to picking up a golf club for the first time. Who introduced you to the game?
It was my two brother-in-laws. We were together in San Jose at my sister's house, and for Thanksgiving, and she lived on a golf course, and my two brother-in-laws said, let's go play golf. And I said, sure.
Why not?
Let's go play golf. Me too, right? And I just had such a good time, and of course I beat them both. So I was hooked from that moment on.
Hey, see, sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need to just have like the golf game of your life right at the beginning so that you stick with it and you don't feel too defeated.
There you go. I like that.
Are you still beating them?
Oh, yes. I could definitely thrash them.
Not that they're going to listen to this and expect anything less than your trash talking, right?
Yes, they expect that.
So you are no longer in Huntington Beach. Tell us about where you are now.
We're in White, Georgia, but actually not in the city limits. We're just in the county area, and it's almost halfway between Canton and Cartersville. And when we moved out here, we found this beautiful little golf club, Cartersville Country Club, and we just love going there, and it's just a great little place. Scott Hamilton's one of the pros there, and he's an awesome guy, and then there's everybody that works there is awesome. And it's so much fun going there. I really like going there.
Yeah, Scott's a good guy. For those of you who are avid listeners, you will remember him from our second episode, which seems like 100 years ago, but was last June, July. What brought you to make such a significant change from going from California to Georgia? Not an easy move.
Yeah, with our kids. They both live on the East Coast. Our son lives in Washington, D.C. He's an attorney, the constitutional law attorney up there.
Oh, cool.
And our daughter moved here with her family and our grandchildren because Yamaha of America, the motorcycle division, moved here from California. And our son-in-law works there, and they moved out here to Kennesaw, and we came out. We liked it. We said, hey, let's move out here.
Yeah, that's awesome. When did you first visit? I'm going to guess it wasn't the summer.
No, I think it was the first time was in the fall, and then
that
maybe
helps.
The next time in the spring. And when we were here in the spring and went shopping for houses, it was beautiful, just like it is today. Nice high 60s, clear sky, beautiful day, no bugs.
Yeah, right. That's what I was about to say. The bugs are a little bit different in Georgia.
The bugs can be very large.
Yes.
and they're pretty easy to find too.
Yeah, I always tell my in-laws, Rich's family primarily, almost everybody lives in Georgia. And I'm like, I would love to come visit you in like April and like October through December because all the bugs are gone, all the humidity's gone. Like that's when Georgia's my jam. In the summer, I don't know about that. It's a little too toasty and the bugs are a little too big for me.
It does have that. It's also very beautiful in the summer. It's so green and
it is. Yes, it is.
Just wear your bug spray. That's all.
Yeah, wear your bug spray. Wear your hair up. Don't worry about hair or makeup. At least for me, because it just doesn't work. So
humidity is high, but it's okay. I actually prefer the humidity to dry hot.
Oh, interesting.
A lot of people like dry hot.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm so used to Cincinnati weather where there's a decent amount of humidity, but then you go to the south and it's just like Cincinnati on steroids. It's a little different. I think we all complain up here and then go down there and we're like, never mind. It feels wonderful in Cincinnati right now.
I bet it's beautiful.
So you had mentioned Scott. You did not know Scott until you joined Cartersville. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, cool. So we actually found you obviously through Scott and through Instagram. So tell us about, you recently made a custom putter for Scott. So I'd love to understand and have you walk us through the process of someone knowing that they want to have a custom putter and then what that process of choosing everything looks like and getting the final product looks like.
Well, most of the customers I have know a lot about it already. They know a lot about putters. They know what they want. They know their specs. And so I pretty much just take their specs, and Scott was a standard specs guy, and so it's pretty simple. So I just needed his length a lot. And then I asked him, if he had anything he would like stamped on the putter. And he did. He wanted Scotty Ham on there.
Yeah.
And so then I just kind of designed a little layout that would work with Scotty Ham and give it a little color because he had expressed he really liked this one putter that I made that was really super shiny. And I posted pictures of it, and he'd really like that. So I kind of went with that kind of a theme for him, but I made it more playable so it wasn't so shiny in the bright sun. Basic DH89 actually is the name of that putter.
So you go onto your website, and my husband is the golfer. I just am obsessed with reading about it. And watching it. So you go onto your website and there's so many customizations you can choose from. And I think that if I remember correctly, the one that you're talking about with Scott, he got the blue oil rub on it.
Yeah.
Is that right? That looks so cool. Everyone should check out Byron Putters on Instagram or Scott Hamilton on Instagram so you can see this. They look really neat. So people are coming to you because they already know what they want. How do they choose between you and another custom putter maker? Like what is kind of the difference that you bring to the game and to the club, and what does that look like for you?
Most of these putter collectors that I sell putters to, they collect everybody's putters or everybody they like. They'll have 5 or 10 Scotty Camerons. They'll have some Perettis. They'll have some Tadmores, some TP Mills. They buy all kinds of putters, and they'll buy vintage putters as well. Old Wilson putters, old Bristol putters. They just love putters. There's thousands of people out there that own hundreds of putters.
That's crazy.
And they just love putters, and they like to come to me because they'll have their own idea, and they'll say, "Hey, can we do this particular thing?" And you can't get that at Ping or TaylorMade or Titleist.
Got it. Yeah.
Well, unless you're a tour player, you can get it at Titleist through Scotty Cameron, but not just a regular person.
Okay.
But they can get any little thing they want virtually. People have sent me drawings of so many really clever things, and they'll come up with some really killer ideas. And then I post those pictures, and people look at them, and then they can have one like that.
Yeah.
They don't have their own idea yet, but maybe on the next one they will.
Yeah, it's really interesting because they all look so different.
Yeah, I got a text today from a guy in California. He sent pictures of all the putters he's bought from me. It was like 7 or 8 of them. And he says, "Do you remember me and making these putters?" And he goes, "I'm really getting the itch for another one."
So are you the only person, like, as you're doing this, like, you are building each of these putters yourself?
Except for a few things where I contract with. So milling hundreds of putters at a time, I contract with an old friend in California who's been doing it for me for most of this time. And he has a big machine shop and big machines, and he knows exactly how to make the putters.
Mm-hmm.
Where we use my programs, and he knows exactly how to run them. And so I contract with them for that, and I'll contract with some places for finishing, like for black oxide, for oil can finishes, I'll contract. For PVD finishes, I'll send those out too. But like the blue oil I do here, and all the glass blasting I do here at the shop. So I can easily make a putter from start to finish right here in the shop. I have I have a little mill here, a Bridgeport, that I use. Can make a putter from scratch with that, if necessary. If somebody has an idea where they want to make a bullseye putter, I can make it with that.
Okay.
And my own finishing here at the shop as well.
So, I mean, obviously Scott did the blue oil. I'm sure he wanted to make sure that you were doing everything so that he could come back to you and just know that everything was up to the specs that he was interested in. Are there people that come to you, like if we wanted a custom putter, I would have no idea how to even get started. Can someone meet with you and go through this process? Or do you do it virtually, or how does that work? Because obviously not everyone's going to get down to Cartersville, but plenty of people could. It's not too far.
Yeah, sure. I can have people here at the shop. Absolutely. And we can putt on the putting green and talk about making them a putter. Most people will do it through the website, and then they'll work with my sales representative, Steve Zastro, in Wisconsin, and he will walk them through the order process and write the order and send it to me.
Okay.
That's where most of them are sold, is that route.
How did you get hooked up with someone in Wisconsin?
He found me.
Oh, okay.
And he found me and bought a few putters, and we became friends over the phone. And then we started working together. He really owns his own business, so it's like he's like my retail outlet. I sell to him wholesale, then he retails it.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. So how long, start to finish, does a custom putter normally take to make?
Well, if I was going to make, like, say, a Ping answer style handmade putter on the Bridgeport, that would probably take me about 40 hours.
Oh, okay.
But a simpler one, similar to like my B17 that I'm making right now, I could probably do that in 8 to 10 hours, maybe less. start to finish, including taking breaks.
Yeah, I would hope so. I feel like that could get a little wearing if you're just sitting there for 8 hours. That could be a lot.
Well, I'll tell you what can be a lot in 8 hours is when I'm doing a large order and I'm hand stamping for all day. And I don't know if you've seen hand stamping, but it's a 3-pound sledgehammer and this little tiny die that has a tiny little letter on it, printed on it. You're slamming it into steel, and I hit it so many times. I just tend to try to hit it only once. That's my goal. Is I put the letter stamp down, and I hit it once with the sledgehammer. So it gets stressful after a while, and you don't want to get too tired when you're doing that. Mm-hmm. It can be dangerous for your thumb.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I would that would not be my preference of what I would be doing. I'd probably lose a finger or break something, or I'd also be so worried that something would slip. And then it's like, everything was done. All I had to do was the stamping, and then you're kind of, do you have to restart at that point, or what happens?
Yeah, you can definitely ruin the putter just then.
That's crazy.
One last hammer, and whew.
Yeah. You're like holding your breath as you do it.
It's it's a little stressful.
Yeah.
I know there's more stressful jobs than that, but.
Yeah, but people don't like their golf game messed with, that's for sure.
Yes, they don't.
What are some of the more unique or kind of out of this like world requests that you've gotten on custom putters?
I haven't had an out of this world request. I'm sure of it. If we may have had to alter what they were requesting, but
okay.
Pretty much if they can come up with it, we can do it.
Are there people that put like funny sayings, or is it mainly like nicknames that they put on their stamping, or what are some of the different things that people put on their stamping for people to know that it's them?
Yeah, sometimes they'll put their family names on there. All their kids. I made a putter for a football player, an NFL football player, and he had 9 children, and we put all 9 children's names on the bottom of the putter.
Oh, wow.
And he had his wife's name on the neck, and then his name, Rivers, was in the pocket, I believe.
That's dedication. That's a lot. How does that even... obviously, it must not change anything on the bottom of the club for playing, but are there any times that stamping or something like that can impact how the club plays?
Yeah, I see people stamping things on the face, and it's more of a trophy at that point, because if you have all those little bumps in the face from hand stamping, that's gonna affect how you roll the ball.
Okay.
Including grooves on faces, the really deep grooves on faces. They can feel and sound really good, but they have all these sharp little points, and then the ball has all these little dimples on it. So all those sharp little points can hit the edges of those dimples and twist the ball immediately.
Oh,
so
interesting.
The second you've hit it, it wasn't lifted purely. It actually got a little twist on it. And I like to say that whenever you see Phil Mickelson miss a 4-foot putt, that's what happened.
Do you discourage people from getting some of those deep grooves because of that? Or is it more just an awareness thing?
Yeah. The San Diego School of Golf did a study on it, and they said it happens 10% of the time, varying degrees of it, 10% of the time, with almost any face, any putter.
So anything that has any sort of grooves on it, is going to impact your game at some point.
Well, even a flat face is what they were saying.
Oh, okay.
I like to have a combination of not too aggressive, but a nice a nice texture to it, so they can pick up the ball and lift it just very slightly without putting spin on it. Just lift it slightly so that it gets above the grass and then gets on the grass and starts rolling immediately. I think it with the loft and the friction of the face affect that.
Okay. What putter are you playing with right now, or what is your kind of your go-to or favorite putter that you've made yourself?
Well, the first putter that I made was a Ping Answer replica, and I had a partner in those days, John, and we took a Karsten Company Ping putter and we copied it identically, except for making it a little bit heavier. And then we made it from a different material where the pings were all made of manganese bronze. We made this putter of 8620 carbon steel and then gun blued it. And so it's quite different than the ping putter in the material. And it had a milled face. So we milled the faces perfectly flat and gave it some texture, whereas the ping didn't have that. Ping just came out of the mold.
Okay.
And those molds, those lost wax way of making putters in those days, which Ping used and most everybody else, when you would take that wax out, the face would go a little bit concave. And we milled it off so that it was totally flat. And I remember Karsten saying at the time when somebody said, "Hey, well, your faces aren't flat because of that." And he said, "It's as flat as it needs to be." And so if anybody tells me the face isn't exactly flat, I always say it's as flat as it needs to be.
So you, how often do you get out on the golf course right now? Because I think Cartersville, I mean, Georgia, you can, I mean, obviously we're in the middle of some strange times. It is April when we're recording this. But are you guys able to get out and freely play right now?
Yeah, they have a few restrictions with golf cart usage, but if I go with my wife, we can take the same cart. Golf course is open. The restaurant's not open.
Mm-hmm.
The golf course is in beautiful shape right now. Oh my gosh, it's just really nice. Trees, the fairways have grown in nicely. They're nice and green. And the rough hasn't gotten too big yet. Because when I moved here last year and started playing in August in the summertime, they had this 3-inch rough, Bermuda rough, that if you hit it off the fairway, you had trouble finding it, let alone playing it.
Yeah.
And that hasn't grown in quite yet, so it's really fun to play right now. You can miss the fairway and find your ball. And
yeah, that's a nice thing. So how often are you and your wife out at the golf course playing around?
So she's trying to go over there once a week. I've been going over there more like twice a week.
It's a perfect way to get out of the house, find some balance.
It is.
Absolutely.
Get outside. It's so beautiful in Georgia. It's a vacation spot as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have you've posted some beautiful photos. Where is that river that you had posted in Georgia?
That's about 50 minutes north of here.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really pretty there. There's a beautiful lake here, Lake Allatoona. It's a really beautiful lake as well. Easy to get to. That's like 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah, it does. It does make it feel a lot more like a vacation than just kind of like being at home and walking around. I was showing Rich some of the pictures last night, and I was like, man, I hope that's not his backyard. I'm going to be so jealous. I mean, it's kind of your backyard. You just have to drive a few minutes to get there.
Yeah, our backyard is pretty spectacular too. it's a forest out there. It's beautiful, and I built some trails out there so you can go out for a walk in there.
Oh, that's so cool.
If you look on the website, there'll be a picture of some head covers that are sitting on the railing of the porch, and then you'll see the backyard in the background.
Oh, perfect. I will have to check those out so I can see what that forest looks like. It's so interesting because we when we drive down there, it's so different than Cincinnati specifically. We just have deforested and taken a lot of the trees out, but we go down there and it's just like driving down the highways is so different. It's just so peaceful and serene as long as you stay out of like Atlanta proper. But it's really nice to go down there and just kind of like see nature a little bit more.
Yeah, I was really astonished in my backyard. After the pollen from the pine trees gets all over everything for about 2 weeks, right? And then almost immediately after that, little tiny pine trees were popping up everywhere. There's thousands of them popping up just everywhere in the backyard. So
it's going to fill in even more.
That's what keeps that forest going. It knows how to take care of itself.
Yep, absolutely.
We had a friend in California. Sally said, "Oh, he just loved the forest in the backyard." And she said, "Well, how are you going to take care of those trees?" Sally said, "It's the forest. We don't have to take care of the trees.
They just take care of themselves." That's cool.
Yeah, in our house in California, where we lived for 35 years, was at the beach. And I don't know if you've been familiar with California beach houses, but they're really close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we have really small yards and fairly big house on a really small lot. And that's just, everybody's right next to each other. And so when coming out here, we just love it. We have front yard, a backyard, a side yard. We planted grapes on one side of the house. We planted apples and pear trees on the other side of the house. And then we have this little trail in our backyard where we're going on little nature walks.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than California.
Way different than living at the beach, that's for sure.
Do you miss the beach?
We really love living at the beach and raising our kids there, but this is nice too.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is next for Byron Morgan Putters?
Yeah, if I had my choice, I would have some company say, "Hey, Byron, we'd like to buy your name."
Yeah.
And they give me a big check and I go off into retirement.
Right?
I am at that age and it'd kind of be nice.
So for anyone listening, just get ready. Well, Byron, it has been great chatting with you and learning more about Byron Morgan Putters and your transition from California to Georgia and kind of how you got to where you are today. I'd love to play a quick 9 with you if you are ready.
Sure.
All right, perfect. What has been your favorite thing about living in Georgia?
Oh, being close to my children and grandchildren, for sure.
What do you miss about California?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. It is very nice to be close to family. What do you miss about California?
I miss the ocean a lot.
Yeah.
And I miss my friends there a lot. I have really good friends in California that we've known each other since we were in our teens and 20s.
Oh, yeah.
And I really miss going on the beach and going in the ocean.
Do Florida beaches compare to you for California?
So I haven't been to Florida yet.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been to Florida yet, and I got to get down there and check it out. I've been to Orlando many, many, many times to see the golf shows and exhibit golf putters in the golf show. But I have not been to the beach yet. Planning on doing that.
Yeah, everything will open up soon, and you'll be able to do that and relax and tell us which beaches we need to go to, whether it's California or Florida.
you definitely need to go to Huntington Beach, California. It's a great little town. It has a main street and a big pier and surf shops and restaurants, and there's shopping down there. It's a great place.
So we all need to add that to our vacation list once we're all allowed out of our house again.
Yes, you do.
If you hadn't moved into the golf world, what would your dream job have been?
Oh, baseball player for sure.
Oh, all right. What team do you root for?
Oh, well, Dodgers, of course.
You haven't made the transition to the Braves yet?
Not yet. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that will happen. But yeah, I grew up loving Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Gil Hodges, all those Dodgers. Love the Dodgers.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. What is your favorite movie?
Field of Dreams.
Oh, that's such a good one. It's a very good one.
Thank you.
I
love that movie.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
A night owl.
Would you rather watch TV or read a book?
Watch TV.
Anything good that you're binging right now?
So we've been watching a lot of vampire movies.
Oh, all right. All right. I feel like we're starting to run out of things. I'm like, what are we watching right now? What is on TV? This is brutal.
We were binge watching vampire movies. Sally loves scary movies, and those vampire movies, they're pretty scary sometimes.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I cannot convince Rich to watch a scary movie with me. He doesn't even like the scary movie previews. So that is, I'm unfortunately not going to be able to take many tips from you on that front, unless I'm watching them by myself. So I think I already know this answer, but I'm going to ask anyway. Do you prefer a beach or a mountain vacation?
Well, we lived at the beach, so I loved going to the mountains. I loved going to Mammoth Mountain, and we were skiers, and we just loved the mountains. We camped up there, camped and fished and skied. And I always thought I'd buy a second home in Mammoth Mountain, California, but now my second home is in White, Georgia.
Yeah.
Actually, the second home is now in Huntington Beach, California.
There's nothing wrong with that. You can still go visit.
Can go visit.
Are you more of a home-cooked meal or a to-go or sit at a restaurant type of guy?
Pretty lucky. My wife, Sally, is a fantastic cook, and she makes really good everything. And she just recently started baking bread.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy good.
Yeah, Rich does not have that in me. I can follow a recipe if I'm really motivated, but outside of that, we have like a handful of recipes that he's stuck with me on for for the past few years. I'm like, this is the time when I should probably try more recipes, but finding the ingredients for everything is more of the challenge these days. All right, your last one. Go ahead.
Sally loves to follow the recipes, and she has lots of cookbooks, and she likes to make those new recipes.
That's awesome.
And I like eating them.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. All right, last question. What is your go-to drink of choice?
Jack Daniel's. Unless it's a beer at the golf course.
Have you been to Scott's Brewery yet?
No.
Drowned Valley? I have heard good things. We have not made it down there yet. The last time we were down there, we were only in Georgia for about 48 hours, so we didn't get to make it to see it. But next time we are down there, hopefully you'll have some free time and we can meet up at the brewery.
That'd be great. I'd
Absolutely.
love that.
Absolutely. Well, Byron, it has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. Where can we continue the conversation and follow your journey online and potentially get some orders for you for some custom putters?
Well, Instagram is a great place. I'm posting a lot there nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I just started doing that, and I really like it. A lot of people are looking at that. Instagram at Byron Putters. And then my website is byronputters.com. And Facebook is Byron Putters as well.
Okay, perfect. We'll make sure that we tag this for everybody so that they can find you very easily. And Byron, like I said, we look forward to meeting you when everything calms down and we make it back down to Georgia.
That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. We'll have a wonderful...
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Have a wonderful week, and we will talk very soon.
Okay, great talking to you.
Thanks.
Have a wonderful week.
You too. Well. Bye. Thanks for joining me today. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a minute of the action. See you soon.